Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got bombshell information to share with you about what is going on with the economy. I know you're hearing a lot of positive things. The economy is up, things are getting better, but the question that I have to ask, is it really, especially considering that the debt clock is continuing to tick, and we are trillions and trillions of dollars in debt, as most of you know, and it's not a question of if it will fall at some point, but when. Just my opinion. But I know that you're getting a lot from the mainstream media that we are doing good on the economy. But I have to ask, are there any lies being portrayed by the U.S. government, by those in leadership, by the bankers, lying to the American people about inflation, about stocks, about all things economically speaking? So what I wanted to do is bring on a professional, and I have with me Charles Thorngrid with NobleGoldInvestments.com. As you guys know, he is the only one that I trust for my gold, my silver, my 401k, that kind of thing, and he handles all of that. But make sure you check out his website, NobleGoldInvestments.com, but he's got some great insights on this. So Charles, are you with me over there?
I am. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to come right out with it. Is the government lying to us about the economy?
Yes. Straight answer, easy answer, yes. And we know this. How many lies do we deal with from the government on a daily basis? We see them all the time. And how much more so is the economy an issue for them? And that is one of the biggest factors. They try to control us with information, and that's works for some people. But then those of us who don't fall for their lies, they have to control us in another way. And the best way that they can do that is with our money. And this is why I'm here at Noble Gold Investments. So this is why I've been here for the years that I have. I've seen through the veil of what they say is fact when it's not. Their own numbers. You use their own numbers against them, you can see clearly they're controlling us with lies. And we want to put an end to that. We want to get people informed so that they can protect themselves. You know, as such, we've done a wonderful ebook that we're giving away for people who want to learn more about what is going on and how they can protect themselves. I have a copy here, and I'm going to be getting you a copy as well. And all your listeners can, click on the link and get a copy for themselves. But it's right here. Government lies exposed. The biggest lie we have right now is the inflation lie. And we start this series out with that because that is a very important lie. The cost at which things go up in value, okay? Inflation eats away at it. And we see this when we go to the store, grocery shopping, gas, all of these things, that's inflation. So it's a really important piece of information that people want to get adjusted to and realize what's happening so they can prepare.
So for those of you who are interested, that is a total free ebook. I'm going to have a link below. Download it and educate yourself. That's why I love Charles Thorngrid. He writes this stuff and he's like, look, read it for free. At least you're in getting yourself ready for the economy and what's ahead. But speaking of lies about inflation, are there lies right now on inflation?
The biggest, most upfront lie is they're going to tell you inflation's 1.7%. A couple months ago, they said it was about 2.2%. Here's the reality. If you use the numbers that were established when the central bank started, and if you go back 30 years, those numbers will tell you that inflation right now is between 7 and 9%. You may ask why that's important. Well, here's really why that's important. That determines the interest rate that you get on investments that you save. For those people who are looking to collect Social Security, at that rate, they would get a cost of living expense. They would increase their Social Security payments. These lies are being told so that the government can continue to control us. Anyone who knows someone who's on Social Security, or if you're on it yourself, how important it is for that cost of living. As it costs you more to do your day-to-day living, that needs to be adjusted. So they lie about this to keep us under control and keep more money in their coffers. And it's a pretty substantial lie, almost 4.5 times higher than the rate that they claim. That's significant. And it eats away at all of our investments.
That it does. And so what kind of repercussions would an interest rate of 7 or 9% have on an economy? And what is an unbearable level, if you will? Are we looking at, another 2007, 2008, 2006 coming in our near future? Or what? I know I asked a couple questions, so I'll just throw it at you.
Here's what that number does. If we use those real numbers, you can no longer say this economy is strong. It needs to be adjusted. The Fed says they want to see around 2%. And this is why you see these lies being told. We're close to our considered norm, okay? At 7 and 9%, that means in the course of a decade, it's going to cost you twice as much for the same items you're buying now, 10 years from now. So where this is most important is in your retirement account. As you save to be able to leave the workforce and maintain your standard of living, you're not going to be able to do that. This is why they keep this hidden. And that number is important. You mentioned the stock market, and I'll tell you why that's important. If they came out and said that inflation was at 9%, the markets would get hammered because that rate is unsustainable, and that means the economy is not strong.
So it's a lie to investors and people who are investing out there in order to get them to continue to invest.
Continue to invest and control. These are really important issues. Control is the biggest thing that we're seeing now. And if you look at forget about the economy, if you just look at the state of America right now, it's in such turmoil. We have never had a more divided country. And this is why they're still trying to control it, to try to add more control to us. Because this instability puts them at risk. It puts their control over us at risk. So it's a massive event they're trying to do to keep their way of life in check.
Now, will gold and silver, I have my coin here, my gold here, will this kind of stuff help with what's coming in the future? Because I know you're obviously, you are very big into gold, silver, precious metals, and all of that, which everyone can find on noblegoldinvestments.com. I have a link below. Just click the link below. But there's also a number, and I'll leave that below as well. But how is any of this, does it help with an economy like that?
Absolutely. It's the one safe haven there is. If you look at every currency in the world, they have all failed at one point. Okay? The dollar has yet to officially fail, but they all get devalued over the course of time. Gold is the only thing that maintains its purchasing power. And that's an important thing. That's what we care about. The ability to be able to maintain your standard of living. You can talk about artificial growth on a stock, but if everything else costs you more, that stock doesn't double, you're losing money in that decade. So that's the important thing. And it's a shift for most people. It's the purchasing power. And this is why, part of what they've done, they remove things from these numbers that are really important, like food, gas, clothing, the things that we use on daily basis. Now, this CPI number deals with things like refrigerators and cars. We don't go out and buy a new refrigerator every month. We don't go out and buy a new refrigerator every couple of years. And this is why it's so important to understand what they've done. And this is why gold and silver are there to act as that hedge to get you protected.
And I encourage everyone, invest in gold and silver, invest in precious metals, and make sure you have something stable. Now, I guess kind of your final thoughts on the economy itself. Are we going to, where do you see us headed in the future, I guess, within the next years? I know Donald Trump's in office right now. A lot of people are very hopeful on that, but where do you see the future of America headed here soon?
Here's the issue that we have. Donald Trump is a businessman. He understands business. But he's dealing with a political system that just doesn't want him there. Every event that he wanted to do has been blocked. Healthcare. Now we're talking about tax reforms. There's questions about that. The event with, over the weekend with Rand Paul getting attacked by his neighbor. These are all things saying that the establishment is not going to allow it to happen easily. We have him as president. President Trump is trying to do what makes sense, but unfortunately, we have Congress that's not doing its part. So with that, you're going to see some major economic changes. The stock market, for one thing, it's so overvalued right now. And if you made a lot of money, that's great. Then do the good thing, sell it while it's still high and get protected. You don't have to move all of it, but you should move some. That's just wise advice. Diversify yourself.
Absolutely. So do you see like another 2007, 2008? Will it hit the school loans? Will it be a housing crash? I mean, what are you seeing? I guess it's all opinion anyway, but what do you think?
Well, and that's what we're talking about. The school loans are very important. School loans are a big issue because people can't pay them back. We don't have a fully employed America right now. Most people who are working aren't working at their full potential. After 2007, a lot of people lost jobs, and they found other work in time, but it wasn't to the standard of where they were. You have a lot of people who are at other levels of income that are now doing what they can to just take care of their family. So when you're going through that system and you're not making what you should, if you're choosing between food on the table or paying back your student loan, it's not that hard a choice if you have a family. And that's where we're at. So we're going to see a correction in the stock market. Student loans, there will be defaults. Notoriously, student loans have been in default at high levels compared to any other loan in the best of times, never mind in the worst of times. And then car loans. There's a big discussion right now that we'll hear more about on cars and people being able to pay for those cars that they've been pushed and offered these promotional rates, and now suddenly it's changed and they can't afford those cars anymore. So there are a lot of issues to come up. Economically, we're not as sound as they would lead you to believe.
And that's so true, because I know that they lie continually about the economy. I know we have the Federal Reserve talking about increasing the interest rate. They're always on that bandwagon, I guess. But I mean, there's always been lies out of the economy. That's why I love to bring people like you on, people who are educated in the topic and know what they're talking about, who are directly involved. But with that, I just want to encourage you guys, go to the links below, get yourself ready and prepared for any economic situation. It could be something minor, it could be something big. We just don't know which way the cookie's going to crumble, so to speak. But ways to prevent that are make sure you have gold and silver on hand. Convert your 401k into a Roth IRA. And these are all things you can do through Charles' company, noblegoldinvestments.com. There is a link below. Click on that and it'll go direct to my page. Also, don't forget to get the ebook as well. And Charles, do you have any final thoughts, and can you leave the phone number that people can call if they have questions?
Absolutely. That phone number is 888-596-7916. And the final thought, get the ebook, go through it. If you have any questions, though, give us a call here. My team of people here are fantastic. They'll be able to answer your questions, give you the advice that you're looking for, and then let you decide if it's right for you or not. That's what we focus on. Our customer service is second to none. We like to help people. If you have a question, give us a call.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for tuning into my channel here. Don't forget, everything's below in the description box. Well, this is Lisa Haven and Charles Thorngren signing out.